How's it going, people? Kind of a hot one out today. Hundred and two in the 102 degrees out, and %, humidity. This is the air you can eat. It's that thick. Anyway, I'm off to the store to buy some bar and chain oil for my new electric chainsaw. Got it in yesterday, and it's actually pretty stout for what it is. I was actually surprised by it. Of course, I don't need it for like constant wood cutting for fireplace or anything like that. I'm just trimming up a few trees around the yard occasionally and cutting down some of the nuisance ones that keep popping up everywhere in the yard. I've got little scrub maples that I don't know why they keep coming up, but they do. And I keep cutting them down with the riding mower. Some of them have gotten pretty thick and they're taking over my yard again. So, got the saw to kind of take those down and to trim up the ones that I want in the yard still. Now I've got some evergreens growing that I'm not going to touch. Basically, I'll let them grow and just cut the grass around them, because the evergreens are natural bug repellent. I think they're Douglas firs that I've got out in the yard, and now they're popping up at random all over the yard too. I'll let them grow because those aren't as much of a nuisance. They're actually decent trees. I don't mind them being in the yard as much, especially since they don't grow like bad weeds all over the yard. It usually takes them quite a while to get up to size, any size at all. But whew. Those of you that follow me on Facebook will have seen this. Come out and got my truck the other night and cranked it up, and I started kind of smelling wire and electrical burning. Couldn't figure out where the heck it was coming from. Then I got to hearing something arcing. It sounded like it was right here under my dash, right under the turn signal here. So I got out and got to looking. This little jewel right here and it's got, let's see, 7 wires that poke out of it. Only 2 that are still connected. The red wire was arcing on the frame of my dash over here, because whoever put all this stuff in my truck before I got it, which I'm sure it was the dealer, because that's a GPS tracking device, so they can find the vehicle if I ever decided to stop making payments, which isn't going to happen. But the idiot that put that in basically just stripped off the end of the wire, twisted it together, and wrapped it in electrical tape. And right where it was sticking out of the end of the electrical tape, it was touching occasionally the frame of my dash. So could have burnt my truck down. And if you want to go saying, oh well, that's a little extreme, that could never happen. It very well can happen.
Wow.
Also, when I first got this truck, it had a set of the halogen and projector bulb lights on the front of it. It was halogen, projector, and LED all in one unit. Well, the one on the driver's side had the halo burnout on it. So I tried to find a bulb to replace that to get it working again, and of course it's all one in-house unit. And there's only one company in the whole United States that actually makes that light. I know that because I've actually gone through and tried looking them up. They have different variations. They've got the ones with the everything inside is black except the bulbs, of course. And then the ones like I've got that everything's chrome inside. The second time I went to Knoxville in this truck to visit my mom and my grandkids, the one headlight I noticed went out. I was on my way home. I'm riding down the road and I noticed it wasn't very bright at all. So I was kind of taking it easy. The lights are out on this side of the interstate. I was kind of taking it easy until I could get up to where I could stop and look. Got out, and sure enough, the one whole headlight was off. The one on the driver's side front. Pulled it out, thinking, okay, well, maybe it just came unhooked somehow. The same exact situation. Stripped the wires off the end of the plug, twisted them together, wrapped them in electrical tape. And the thing caught fire. I was a little upset about that. I went in to the Pilot truck stop that I had pulled over at. Got me a little set of, thank God they had all the different connectors that I needed. Got all the connectors that I needed. Put actual connectors on the wires. Crimped them down and had some heat shrink in here because I keep it handy just because. And I heat shrink the wires and was good to go after that. And then had to do since the driver's side was okay, I wasn't messing with it right then. I waited till I got home to do it, but that was a mess. Got that all squared away, and now this with the wires. Now, I'm not exactly sure what these other wires go to, but whoever rigged this truck up like they did, they put in, or they cut 3 rather thick wires that go to a little block next to my brake pedal. I believe they're the wires for my trailer lights. It's blue, white, and black, I think. Oh, blue, black, white, and red. are just cut off. At least these, whoever did this part of it, actually put connectors on. And then this block actually plugs in right next to the brake pedal. No clue what this goes to. I mean, I know where it plugs in, but I wasn't able to see where the other ends of this were or what they hooked to. It does have a label on here I could read, but not overload circuit can cause fires. Gee, you think? Oh, by the way, now is the perfect time to go buy your riding tractor because you can get some pretty killer deals on them. Being it's the end of July, closer to the end of the season. Even though this year the season's probably going to run right up to Christmas time. Overloading circuit can cause fires. Do not exceed lower of towing manufacturer rating. Max 4 axles. Read vehicles owner's manuals and instruction sheet for additional information. That's what I thought. More than likely, this is the wires that run my little round trailer plug on the back of my truck. So I have no trailer lights back there to speak of at all right now. But that's the wire for it that I pulled off. The positive was hooked to the positive on here from this GPS thing. And that's right where it was hooked into here. It was sticking out and the metal was arcing on the frame of the dash. So yeah, I'm not real happy about it, especially since I'm getting jacked by this company that's I bought the truck through. Really? People are idiots. Anyway, the company I bought the truck through is jacking me on the interest rate for my truck. So, and I knew that going in. I figured I'd pay 6 months to a year on it, and then refinance the truck. As it is, I'm probably going to wind up having to go get the truck refinanced through my bank, if they'll even do it. 7-year-old truck now, so probably not, but it's still a perfectly good truck. I love this thing. And I could still care less that it's a Cadillac. It's just a name to me. I got it for the functionality for a 6-liter motor, all-wheel drive, and the fact that I can tow with it. So anyway, I gotta run in here and get me some bar and chain oil, and I'll be right back.
Let's do this!
A few moments later.
Whew, humid all over again. So much for the rain cooling things off. But got me a gallon of the Husqvarna bar and chain oil. It's the same price as the other stuff, so it didn't matter which one you bought. This is premium. 12 bucks. I don't know how long it'll take me to use all that, because I don't know how bad this chainsaw is about spitting the oil, bar and chain oil out. But I guess we're getting ready to find out. A buddy of mine told me I should use gear oil, but I don't know that it would work the same, and I'd really rather not mess up my brand new saw.
Oh, you're right.
With it being electric, there's that whole extra part of it that I'm not 100% sure of.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good call.
Oh, wanted to go get me some fried mushrooms. I like me some Zaxby's fried mushrooms, but they got cars wrapped all the way around that place. Oh well. Zaxby's has got some killer. It's not all the way around. Yeah. Let's see how bad it really is in here. If they're moving them through fast enough. Oh no, it's not all the way around, they're just to the side. Okay. Anyway. This is bad. I'm sitting still and sweating. I don't want to kick on my AC because, for one, it doesn't work right. That's something else I can do while I'm out. Need 25 ounces of coolant and 8 ounces of oil, so I can draw down my air compressor or AC compressor on this thing and refill it, because it was too full for starters when I got the truck. AC didn't work right. I thought it did, but shoot, I test drove this thing in November. I wasn't really too keen on whether the AC worked in it or not.
I don't give a damn, son.
And of course it didn't. It blew cold air at the time, but the cold air it was blowing was recirculated from outside.
And just be chill, dude.
The thing mirror says 85, but I beg to differ. I think it's hotter than that. Because for me to just be sitting here sweating, it's got to be more around the 92, 94 degree mark with the 100% humidity. That's what it feels like. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah. Got this truck. Wife ain't even drove it yet. Had it for over 6 months and she's yet to crawl behind the wheel, which to me is just a shocker. And but yet she liked it well enough just from riding in it all the times that she has that she was considering getting one for herself. She had decided that she was going to get one of these for herself before, and still to this day has not driven it. But so I started helping her look for them. Problem is, most of the people that have these still think they're made out of gold. You're going to pay for the little wreath on it instead of the bow tie. I prefer the Cadillac myself because it's all-wheel drive and it does all the changing of the four-wheel and two-wheel on its own on the fly. It's not going to rip your transmission out if you push the wrong button like it would in a Chevrolet. It may not do it in that either. It might be delayed until you slow down to a certain speed, but I still prefer it to be all-wheel drive because that way it's on all the time. And before you go making comments that this would actually, the all-wheel drive would actually kill my gas mileage, I'll have you know I get right at 17 miles to the gallon, whether I'm on the highway or in the city. Of course, I usually drive in the city like I do on the highway, so that's probably the reason there's not much difference. But yeah, I still love this stupid truck. It's changed the oil out, put a fresh batch of Mobil 1 in her. Of course, I didn't put any Lucas in this one yet. All I put in was just Mobil 1. and there was enough of it that it filled it, so I didn't have any room to put the Lucas in. Also, that extra quart would have had it overfilled and could, I don't know if it could cause problems or not, but there's the potential there, so I avoided it. Tell you what, there's a trend that I've noticed on YouTube lately that really needs to go away fast and without being talked about a whole lot. And I know why it's happening and where it came from. See, Viners always had that trend of somebody would start something or decide something was a neat challenge or something neat to do, and then everybody would copy it. They'd make their own version of it. Same thing's happening with Ouija boards and paranormal garbage. Now, let me clarify. It's not that I don't believe in the paranormal stuff, because I do. And it's not that I think it's garbage because everybody's doing it, because I don't. But the old Viners that are now YouTubers are doing just like they used to on Vine, and anything that they think is a good idea that somebody else is doing, they latch on and start trying to imitate it. The only problem I've got is that with it being paranormal and Ouija board stuff, paranormal I got no problem with. Ouija board stuff, I say not deal with it, but if you're gonna do something like that, do it for real. This fake crap that a lot of people are doing involving Ouija boards and hauntings and demons and all that other crap, it's just, I get it's supposed to just be entertainment, but holy crap. I gave old Lance Stewart, I've watched his videos like that, and that's the most ridiculous garbage I've ever seen in my life, because it's, you can tell it's fake. I mean, it's as fake as the day is long. And this genius needs to get off his daggum phone or whatever the heck he's doing besides driving. All over the dang road. Yeah, those roads in the middle and on the side of the, those lines on the side of the road and in the middle aren't for you to bounce off of, dude. Supposed to keep your truck centered between them. Over here, go way over here, and then back over here. About to scrape the guardrail too. Anyway. I do believe in the paranormal. I don't believe that there's things just sitting around waiting for you to contact them so they can talk to you or move a little piece of plastic on a board. I just don't believe it. And I sure as heck don't believe that some little imp or whatever is waiting for you to go to sleep at night so it can exactly, frame for frame, recreate a horror movie from like 6 years ago in your room. Especially when you can tell it's fake because things in the room are moved between the different frame rate, different frames of the video. Not just one thing, there's several things. Good editing I'll give them that. Good editing. Aside from that, it's completely fake, and for them to just continue on and on, beating the dead horse. I mean, I made a comment about it being fake, and I had probably a couple thousand people that agreed with me. Of course, there were a couple, about 20 or 30 people that put comments on there. Oh, well, he's doing this for you to watch, and if you don't like it, maybe you shouldn't watch. Well, guess what? I'm subscribed for a reason. I don't subscribe to people's channels to not watch their videos. If I'm going to spend my time sitting down watching a video that you faked, at least show me the common courtesy to get it edited professionally to where you can't tell that it's fake. Or don't fake it. I'd rather it not be faked at all. Yeah, traffic light's still out, so we're gonna have to pull up and wait our turn. A lot of people don't know that's how you do that. Traffic light's blinking, you pull up to the light and wait your turn. This genius is in the left-hand only turning lane and with his right blinker on. Smart. That's a rocket scientist right there. But now, with Lance, I got to give him a break because he's just 20. I think he's 21 now, and he's still kind of feeling his way around YouTube. I've been at it a while. That don't mean I'm any better at it because he's the one with the 4 or 5 million subscribers. I still am hard pressed to get 2,000. By the way, when I do hit 2,000 again, because I had hit it at one point, and YouTube came in and cleaned house, and I lost about half of that. Went back down to 1,700 subscribers. But when I hit 2,000 again, I'm going to do a giveaway. I've been kind of toying around with the idea of what to give away, and I don't want it to be just some cheap, cheesy something or another, but I may wind up giving away some of my stuff that was sent to me for evaluation. Brand new in the box, and it may appeal to you, it may not. If you don't have to enter. But I actually like the idea of giving stuff away, and even if it doesn't mean much to some people, it might mean the world to somebody else. But I think that's what we're going to do a little giveaway at 2,000. And I'll try to do one every 1,000 after that. Right up to the point that I get my YouTube plaque. Getting ready to start doing a lot more videos. I've been away from it for a while because I've been focusing mostly on work and trying to get this thing paid off. And I'm at a point now where I'm either going to get hammered with the high interest loan and just pay it off, which is 2 years from now, or I'm just gonna say go somewhere else and get a hopefully lower interest loan without all the secretism and all the bogus reports. I'm still just completely mad about that. Doggone company I got the truck from has an advertisement all over the TV every day, several times a day. Credit doesn't matter. And I had good credit. I checked it before I went there. It wasn't great, but it was good. 680, I think it was a 680 credit score, which I haven't used credit ever. I mean, the last time I used credit was like back in the early 90s. And I just hadn't done anything that I had to have money, a loan for. I just saved up the money and did what I wanted to that way. Did that for over 10 years, and all of a sudden I've got a 680 credit score when I check it again. Like, okay. So I figured, well, don't have all the money I need to for a vehicle, so put this, I had like $2,000, actually I had about $3,500 saved up. Put $2,000 down on this truck, and then was hoping that the payments would be relatively cheap, but no. They're ganking me on the payments. And I think it's ridiculous. I mean, but when they ran my credit, I got a report back, or they got a report back supposedly, that said I had a judgment on my credit for $32,000 from some automotive floor plan place up in Ohio. And I think it was called Next Gear, N-E-X-T-G-A-R. I thought they kept saying Netgear, which would kind of go along with me being an IT guy, because Netgear routers and hubs and all that other stuff, there's networking equipment. That kind of made sense, and I'm thinking to myself real quick, when the guy asked me about it, I'm like, I haven't ordered any equipment, and either for work or for home, so I don't know where that comes from. So when I went down there, I got to asking about it, and come to find out it's not Netgear, it's Next Gear. $32,000 judgment for an unpaid loan for a automotive floor plan. I've never opened up an automotive dealership. I've never attempted to open an automotive dealership. Where the heck did this come from? So I came home after I got all the paperwork straightened out for this and started getting jacked on the payments. Came home and got to looking, and it was only TransUnion that was reporting this. So I called TransUnion up and asked them about the report. Why was this judgment on me? They didn't know what the heck I was talking about. So it's all junk. Figures. So I went back down to the dealership, told the guy, you know, it's awful funny that you found this finance charge on me that I've got a judgment against me for, and the very company that you're telling me gave you the information that I had a judgment against me has no clue what the heck you're talking about. Well, it's right here, and he brings the paper out and shows me again. I was like, well, you can show me that all day long. That doesn't mean that it's right. He says, well, they've got like 12 different reports that they can pull for you now. It's not just the one for everything like it used to be. Which to me still sounds fishy, but whatever. I don't deal with that kind of stuff very often, so I honestly don't know. Well, called them back up again and said that, told them what the dealer had told me, that this was on the credit report 4 for the automotive, and that it wouldn't show up under my regular stuff. And the guy that I was talking to says, I've searched everything of yours. There's nothing here that has a $32,000 loan from Next Gear Capital on it. I'm like, okay. So what about before? I said, because I had tried to get it removed the night that I came home from the dealership and found out that I had that bad mark on my credit, and I came home and told them it was bogus, it wasn't mine. I said, can you see any history of there ever being a $32,000 charge on my credit? No. Okay. So I let that one slide. The reason I let it slide, because I figured, well, they're going to argue with me all day long anyway. What I'll do, pay on it for about 6 months, come back and make them run it again. And I'm going to watch them run it this time. Because I'm actually going to drive down there one of these evenings and make them run it with me sitting right there. Because this bogus mess isn't going to happen. We're not going to, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to sit here paying $430 a month for 3 years because they feel like they've gotten me over a barrel and that I either pay their loan or they take my truck back. Truck's not going anywhere. I'm paying the payments regardless. But if I can get the finance charges down, I can pay the truck off a lot faster. That's my main concern. Because I don't like owing people money. But anyway, getting back to the paranormal stuff. I do believe in paranormal stuff, but I don't. It makes me mad when people actually fake it. There's no reason to fake it. There's enough real stuff out there. If you look hard enough, it'll reveal itself. Now, if you're curious as to why I believe in paranormal stuff, it's even backed up in the Bible. If you're religious at all, then you believe in that kind of stuff too. The very last book of the Bible says that when the Lord comes back, that he'll be coming back to bring his people home. The dead in Christ shall rise first, which means that their souls are still on the earth, which means that all you people that are, oh, grandma's up in heaven. No, she's not. That don't mean she's not going. It just means she's not there yet. Her soul's trapped on earth in a grave, just like my dad's. Do I think my dad was a bad man and that's the reason that he's stuck here? Nope. It's like I told Mom when shortly after Dad passed away. She says, I wish your dad was still here. I said, well, you gotta kind of keep it in your mind that he is. What makes you say that? And then I brought that up, and she goes, that makes sense. And I'm thinking it just made sense because that made her feel better, knowing that he's around somehow. Can't do anything for her or with her, but he's around somehow. That was good enough for her. But I do believe it, and I believe that that's a reason that occasionally people will find things. You'll see these little hauntings of a little kid walking across the road or a woman coming down the stairs. They're just residuals of people that loved that moment in time or that part of their life so much that now that they're dead, that's all they can do is just recreate it all the time. And the people that are lucky enough can catch this stuff on camera with the new digital cameras and everything, and them being faster and all. It's a brave new world when it comes to paranormal stuff, because you can actually catch the stuff now. But when you fake it, and it's obvious that you're faking it, that just ticks people off. The ones that know that you can catch the stuff and that it's real, that the stuff's out there, and here you are faking it just so you can get more people to watch your video. That's just, it's garbage. Now, when I was still working as network administrator over here at Unipress with my neighbor, I uploaded a video one night that I had recorded. People told me the whole time I worked there that the warehouse that we kept all of our old IT equipment in, and all of our old the old dies that they put in the presses, and the overstock parts that they ran in the other warehouse, they had all told me from the first time I got there that warehouse was haunted. Well, I didn't believe it. I mean, I'm a skeptic at heart. But we wound up staying there late one night. Me and my neighbor, we were putting up new wireless access points in the warehouse, which meant taking down the old ones and putting up all fresh and new Wi-Fi antennas. And we were there till probably about 9:30, somewhere around there. And at the end of the night, I was putting the stuff up. We had thrown all of it in the back of the golf cart that we usually rolled around in, and it was my job to run over to the warehouse and drop all that equipment off in the recycle bin and lock up everything and come back over and go home. My neighbor, of course, was on the little sky lift that we had been going up and putting the stuff in with in the plant, and he went and put that up. I put the other stuff up, and we got ready and left. On my way over, of course, this is back when the flip cameras were still a thing too. On the way over, I decided, well, everybody keeps telling me how haunted this warehouse is. Let's just see. So I pulled the old flip out, and I hit the power button and record and set it up on the dash of the golf cart. And it was basically leaning like so against the front windshield. And that's why in the video you can hear it just beating against the plastic windshield on the front of that thing the whole way over to the warehouse and back. And I didn't see or hear a thing, but I let it record anyway. Well, when I got home, I got to listening, and right at the point where I got off of the golf cart and started pulling the stuff out and throwing it in the recycle bin or putting it in the vault that we had over there, I hear something. It was a female voice in the recording that said, "You still here?" And I was like, I hadn't heard it in the warehouse, and when I heard it at the house here, when I was listening back to everything, I mean, it blew right past me, and then I thought, wait a minute, I heard something else in that. I mean, I came home and had plugged it in and imported the file and started it playing, and I turned it up just in case, and I was getting ready for bed so I could get my rest and get up the next morning in time to make it to work without being late. And I heard that, and I'm like, no. Whenever, sat back down and backed it back up and listened real close again, sure enough, just plain as day, "You still here?" I'm like, what the heck? And I told the security guard, he's an older guy, told him about it. He says, "Oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff goes on over there." He said, "We've had people go in there in those little three-wheeled carts, and they'd be running up and down the aisles, and all of a sudden it just stopped completely dead. And you look at the battery's completely empty." He said, and they push the One guy said that happened. He said he pushed the cart outside, turned the key back on again, battery's fully charged, and the thing worked without a problem. I hadn't seen nothing like it before. Several times the guard says he'd go over there to check the warehouse and feel like somebody just tapping him on the shoulder or pulling at the tail of his jacket. So I mean, yeah, I would assume that there's some realness to some paranormal stuff, but for the most part, when you fake it, that takes away completely from the actual stuff. And like I said, I'm all about some of the paranormal stuff. I get all into watching it and listening to it, and you can believe it or not believe it. It doesn't matter. I mean, to each his own, but I choose to believe it based on what I've seen. But yeah, people need to stop doing the trendy stuff, and like with the Ouija boards, and making it out of a piece of cardboard and the bottom of a Coke bottle that you cut off. Really? I mean, no. So yeah, I made my rude comments because it was just ridiculous that he was trying to pull the wool over people's eyes like that and make them believe that he was possessed by a demon and everything. And it got to a point where I was ready to unsubscribe from him. I really was. And then he quit doing all that stuff. And you know what? It's awful funny that magically overnight all this evil stuff that was happening to him just quit happening. When people started calling him out on his bull, it just magically stopped happening. He found out people didn't appreciate that garbage and straightened himself up. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm sitting here sweating like a pig, and I got to get all this stuff in, and I don't think I'm going to do the chainsaw tonight at all, because it's just too doggone humid. I mean, it's well, it said 94 on my mirror, and I don't know how true that is, but it's definitely hot again, just like it was before it rained earlier. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon, and have a great afternoon.